Hi guys, welcome to another monthly magic. So I'm so happy to be back. I had to take a little break for the month of May pretty much. I had kind of like an emergency surgery that I had to do, and I will cover that all in the next fertility video, but I just needed to kind of regroup, connect, and kind of refresh, and I'm really glad that I did because I'm really happy to share with you what we have for the month of June. And this month it's really kind of awesome, and it's really different. Like, while I was doing the research and reading books and kind of talking to elders and things like that, I really got a sense of kind of the universe and the sky and the stars and things like that. So for monthly magic, I always like to kind of do a little keyword or key phrase for the month. Like last month was so good. There was so much happening in May. It was such a fun month, and that was more of like enlightenment, which I think that this month is all about being in the stars. And this month is going to be awesome because we have like Saturn in our back. And I absolutely love working with Saturn because it's kind of like that friend that helps you kind of transition, get over humps, kind of push you to do things that you wouldn't normally do, gives you kind of courage, kind of that extra oomph to get things done. So we have Saturn on our back. We have a lot happening in the skies. And this month is a really good month to kind of get your ego in check. So there's a lot to go over for June, so let's get into it. So before we begin our video, I just want to say hi and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, we do monthly magic like this every month. And I've been really enjoying doing the research and providing you guys with information and things that I find that we can practice and incorporate into our spirituality for the month. So what we do for monthly magic is that I'll go over the dates. We'll talk about goddesses or gods that I choose for that month, stones, colors, activities, spell work. Like, there's a bunch of things that are kind of rounded up in this overview of the month. And I typically do it like, I try to do it before the first, but within the first week, today's the 7th, it's kind of perfect. Nothing's happened yet, so we're all good. I'm a little bit late. But yeah, I would like to welcome you to my channel. Again, I love doing these. These are really beneficial for me to kind of get my stuff in gear, and it's a really good glimpse as to what you will see for my channel as far as witchcraft for the rest of the month. So we'll go over the dates, and I'll let you know when I'll be posting something, so you can either set a reminder or jot it down so that way you won't miss it, or you can subscribe and click that notification bell so you won't miss the videos that I will be discussing in this monthly magic. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to be looking away because I have a lot of notes. It's literally impossible for me to memorize all these things, and I try my best, and I think the more I work with it, the better I am, but I will be kind of looking away so that way I can give you pretty much remember the key points that I want to tell you. And I will mention that if you are a channel member, I'm going to be dropping all of these monthly magics into our community grimoire, so that way feel free to take notes. But if you are a channel member, and I'll show you where that button is here, any one of the tiers will give you access to our community grimoire, and I post things, some other members post things. So if you are a member, I definitely encourage you to keep posting some of the things that you find so you can share with our community. But this monthly magic will be posted probably later today or tomorrow. So let's start. So the dates. So for today is our first quarter in Virgo, and I'm loving Virgo energy. The baby, I think is due to be in mid-September, which is Virgo, and I love that because Virgo and Taurus is so compatible. They're both earth energies, and so is my mom. My mom's a Capricorn, so my mom, me, And the baby will all be earth energy. Virgo and Taurus, I believe, are still ruled by Venus. So there's a lot of compatibility between little baby West and myself. So the first quarter in Virgo is such a good energy. So for tonight, up until probably when we get to the full moon, so our waxing stage, things are really starting to pick up from the new moon, and they really should. So the goals that you have set, you should be planning, seeing them kind of come into fruition, really getting that mojo, because right now in Virgo, there's a lot of energy, and that may be good or bad. You may have conflicts with yourself as far as, you know, should you or should you not do things, and we'll talk about that later. There's a lot of ego checks this month, which is so incredible for me. Dreams are more realistic, and there could be like a balanced feeling that you are kind of seeing right now. So it's a really good time to kind of put those plans into full swing. You'll start to see, and it'll come into light, what's really working and what's not. That's the Virgo. The Virgo is like very precise. They want to pinpoint things out that really aren't working. And they like dealing with like issues head on and seeing what it takes to fix like any type of concern or something that's kind of blockages or something that's in your way. So with that being said, you really should go full speed ahead. Think, trust your intuition, and get those like smaller monthly goals kind of in full swing. So that's what we should be feeling for today, the 7th. So for tomorrow, the 8th, I'm going to encourage you to really start stargazing. What's really beautiful about June and about midsummer, Litha, the summer solstice is around this time, especially for our hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. I'm Eastern Standard Time, so when I talk about times and things like that, that's New York time. We're really like in the heart of the Milky Way. So stars and things like that should really be brighter this month. So that's why I chose this month to be all about the sky and the stars, because really stargazing is a really popular event that happens kind of around this time. So you can tomorrow, or pretty much the whole waxing type of vibe, you can look for constellations like Orion. And Orion's belt is really easy to see in the sky. You're going to be looking for his Orion's belt, and then you will be looking for all the other alternating stars that kind of glow, that make his embodiment. And Orion is really all about strength, speed, stamina, durability. Again, kind of going into full swing from yesterday's mindset, which is we should be full speed ahead in our plans. So when you're looking for Orion's belt and you find it, which you can on a nice clear sky around the summer solstice, you know, how does that make you feel? Like, journal about it. I really, really encourage you guys this month to, you know, for your grimoire, for your journal or book or shadows, you know, write down some of these prompts that I'm telling you and see how you feel when you finally see Orion, the constellation Orion, or other constellations and fixed stars. Like, totally a total thing for tomorrow, which is a great day to do some stargazing. How does that make you feel when you find it and you're kind of gazing at it and you're taking a moment to kind of be one with the universe? How does that make you feel? Can you find Orion in the sky? Did you find anything else that kind of caught your eye? If you see other stars that catches your eye, it may be part of a constellation that you may not know of. So do some research, learn about the sky. Mother Earth is great to connect with, but it's really good to take the time to connect back with the universe too, because it all matters, and we all are stardust, and the universe is encompassing everything that we love about nature. So as much as you want to become one with the ground, it really is important at night to also stargaze. So for Monday 13th, I have to take omens from the sky. So that day is in Sagittarius. So you might again want to do some more research about constellations and try to find them. And I'm actually on the hunt for a better telescope on Facebook Market, but they're always in the thrift shops. Like, so get yourself a telescope if your budget allows, either thrifted or from Facebook Market, and really make an effort to learn the sky this month. So that's what's happening for the 13th. I will also be doing my Litha Ultra Tour. Really excited. I'm getting better and more situated with my new space and my new recording space. So my altar's right here. It's been cleaned, it's been cleansed, so it's just ready to kind of get on and start putting all of my things back and decorating for Litha. So I can't wait to share that with you. Altar tours are one of my favorite things for this video. So if you are new here, I have a bunch from Mule, Beltane, other ones like that. I think I have one for Astara. So we'll continue to do Litha Ultra Tour on May 13th. The next day, for Tuesday the 14th, we have our full moon. Our full strawberry moon also can be the dyad moon. A lot happening, so kind of let's get through it. So first, with the full moon, we have the full moon square Neptune. So Neptune, especially squaring the full moon, it's all about confusion, security issues, self-doubt. Again, we are trying to have Saturn on our side to help us with that. So squaring Neptune, you know, we're gonna do things that like feel good to us, and we're like, yeah, like this is happening, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm feeling good, but then when it gets a little bit too good, you have your ego knocking on your door, and they're like, is this really the right time, or are you really ready for this, or kind of just that self-doubt. So just take a moment to realize that on the 14th we have a square in Neptune. So if you're feeling any self-doubt, that's normal, but you're going to want to try to push through that so you can really get to the heart of what you want to accomplish this month. So then again, we have a sextile in Saturn, and this is by far probably the best like aspect of the full moon. So again, with Saturn, you envision your plans happening. So again, we're still in the waxing phase, so you're still envisioning your plans coming to fruition. And again, Saturn is there to help you support, you know, that extra push to get you through the finish line, is there to keep your goals in check, is there to combat the self-doubt from the square of Neptune. So we also have Mars conjunct Chiron, and we have the wounded healer. And I love working with Chiron because I, like, of course, you seeing this video, I love sharing my information. I love doing like vendor spotlights, and you will see that. I'll be talking about that in a minute. But what's great about Chiron is that by helping others, you help yourself. So I love that aspect that we have all of these things happening in the full moon. We have breaking down self-doubt. We have Saturn helping you with the push for goals. And then we have, you know, Chiron and Mars helping you by helping others. So it's just a really awesome strawberry moon. And we will be going strawberry picking. So I'll be doing some of that during the activity. We'll talk about that in the activity part. But strawberry moon, because there's a lot of strawberries, a lot of fruit that are ripe and ready to be picked right now. So it's really nice to kind of share recipes, share, you know, desserts, hang out with friends. Like, being engaged and being with friends is helping others, is helping yourself. So from what I have, I think the full moon is about 7:52 a.m. on the 14th. That's Eastern Standard Time. However, we know, or if you didn't, the full moon has like a 3-day window, right? So it's like the full moon, it's like not, the first day is like 97% there. The middle day is the actual full moon, and then you have the third day, which is just coming out. So even though the full moon is on around 8 o'clock a.m. on the 14th Eastern, the best time to do your work is 8 hours before, because that's when you're coming into the strength and you are maxed at the middle day. So I would start planning to do any type of any type of work, spell work, divination, forgiveness, any of those things that you do for full moon, I would definitely start doing it on the 13th. And you might get that kick from watching my Litha altar video that might kind of inspire you to, to do things that you want to do and for the full moon. So into the 13th, into the 14th is where you want to do the bulk of your spell work. Really manifest it on the 14th and then let it go on the 15th. That is your full moon kind of mini cycle of the month. And then when we're talking about the stars in the sky, there's Eris. She's a star goddess, and she's the Greek goddess of war, strife, and discord. So it's a really good time around the full moon too, whether it's in the middle, the first, or the last day, to embrace the divine feminine, taking action, initiative, guidance, all of that kind of with the Saturn on your back. It's just perfect. It's a perfect time for that initiative work that you probably been needing. Okay, so for the 19th, Sunday the 19th, it's a really good time to kind of work with some herbs. This day I really kind of chose to highlight St. John's wort. So there's a lot of controversy when it comes to St. John's wort now, and I'll explain that. So first, let's talk about the benefits of St. John's wort. So it's really good for depression and the short-term effects. If you have like longer effects of bouts of depression, or you really battle depression on a daily basis, it's really good to take St. John's wort in conjunction with any medicines or things like that that a healthcare provider can give you. St. John's wort grows in the wild commonly, and it's been used for centuries to aid in mental health issues. It restores your inner light and nervous system, which is amazing. And it's great to relax when you add it with chamomile. It's a really good powerhouse to kind of just let it go and relax a little bit and lighten up, So if you feel that you are building up tension, I would definitely suggest to make an herbal tea using St. John's wort if your physician has cleared it. So I mentioned this, and this is really important, that St. John's wort contains hyperforin. Now, hyperforin reacts to your drug's metabolism, meaning that drugs that you take, including any heart-related issues, birth control, immune suppression, things like that, any type of drugs that you take for that, St. John's wort may affect those drugs and make them either less likely effective or things like that. So you always want to consult your physician if you are interested in working with St. John's wort, especially ingesting. So when I will do a video on the 19th about some of the ways that you can work with St. John's wort. I'll be making a tea, but again, when you watch that video, and I'll make another I'll make another disclosure that you should always, when ingesting St. John's wort, make sure that your drugs that you are taking now, so like anything, you may want to consult your doctor to make sure that it's not counteracting with the effects of any medicine that you are taking currently. And we'll go over like a salve and things like that, because it's great for like your skin and bruises and insect bites and things like that. So I'll be making a salve, making a tea, other things to work with St. John's wort. So that'll be on the 19th, but definitely make sure that you use the plant with caution. And there's also different types of varieties. I'm going to try to find the hyperacin St. John's wort, and that's when you will see like on the leaf there's like red little dots. You can even like press on the leaves or press on the flowers, and it will produce like a red dye. So that oil is really awesome to work with when it's coming from the plant. So I'll try to find that, and we can make some oil too for our salve. So all that fun stuff working with St. John's wort. I'll go into the herb more depth on the 19th. Also happening the 19th is Lunar Fair. So I've been really busy with Lunar Fair. So between working and the nursery and baby stuff and Lunar Fair, it's been a wild summer to say the least. And Lunar Fair has been very successful. I've met a lot of people. So I will be doing a video over the weekend. I know you guys have been asking what Lunar Fair is, what it's all about. you know, how am I liking vending there and things like that. So probably Friday I will be posting my video. It's ready. It's been ready since Beltane. I've been taking like little clips every time I go. I have a bunch of vendor spotlights, so I go talk to the vendors. They give me a little bit of insight on their shop. I just have the whole vibe. I can't wait to show you what it feels like to kind of be and vend at the Lunar Fair. It happens every new and full moon in New Jersey. I'll leave ticket information here or below. But yeah, so you'll see the setup, what my booth looks like, meet other people, give you their information so you can continue to support the creators in our community. Okay, so for Monday, June 20th, we have our last quarter, our last half, and it's ruled by Aries. So now it's a really good time to be active and responsible. Have that Aries energy to kind of help you follow up with the goals that that we try setting in a new moon. And come to a closing action. And what's really good about Aries is that he's stern, and Aries is really good energy to kind of get you that light bulb moment or that kind of hard discussion to say, okay, I tried this and it wasn't really good. It didn't do me any good. I didn't get anything from it. So it's either it's time to let it go, or it's just not ready yet, or something that you may want so badly. And you just have to come to terms that you cannot change the things that are not meant to be changed, or accept the things that cannot be changed. Like, these are really good Aries type of vibes, and the last quarter, now that they are together, is perfect. And it should be easier for you to kind of understand and come to that realization to help you move forward, because there's nothing worse than dragging along a goal, or dragging along spell work that hasn't really worked, or dragging anything that's really not doing any purpose to you. So from the new moon, if you have been working on it and you've come to the last quarter, the full moon has passed, and this is the last quarter, and you see your spell work or anything that you're manifesting not working, you need to let it go. Not saying indefinitely, try it at a different time, but for this month, it's not working for you, and you'll definitely have that Aries type of energy to help you close out the deals. Okay, so we are now moving into our summer solstice, which is the 21st to the 22nd. So, contrary to popular belief, or maybe just my opinion, or from what I've experienced, summer solstice doesn't necessarily fall on Litha. Litha, especially this year, falls on a completely different day. So I want to make sure that, you know, at least my opinion, the solstice is the beginning of an astronomical summer that has been celebrated since ancient times and is the longest day of the year. Whereas midsummer, or Litha, is a celebration that's held throughout the solstice period. So that can be between the 19th and the 24th. So Litha in midsummer, you know, can fall kind of anywhere in those days, where the summer solstice is really an astrological thing. Now the summer solstice, the longest day, and the sunlight is like literally 17 hours. It's just the best day. I have a love-hate relationship with summer solstice, or just Litha in general, because even though it's the longest day, and I usually have like a barbecue and we build a bonfire and we're celebrating the sun god and celebrating what's happening in the skies, it's like a really sharp reminder that now after this we are going into the darker half of the year. And when you live in an area like I do in Pennsylvania, we just know that like winter's bite is coming. So I am a fall baby. The baby's due in September, so I have a lot to look forward to in fall, but it's just, there's some sort of sadness, and comment below if you feel the same, that like now that we've reached our peak, now days are progressively going to get shorter, and that's just like so depressing. So I just wanted to point out those differences today. So the solstice happens when the axial tilt of the earth is pointed to the sun. So the sun heats up the earth unevenly, so we have more direct sunlight, causing the longest day or the longest night in the southern hemispheres. So that is different from you know, a Litha celebration where we are celebrating, you know, sun gods. We're celebrating the Okanhali king fighting again, and we'll kind of get to that next. But and again, during this time, Milky Way should be kind of in the sky. So if you have a clear sky, get yourself out there and do some stargazing, do some moon bathing like we spoke about in May, and it'll be awesome for you. So questions to be asked. Are there any weaknesses I can work on during this illumination? How can your strengths help you in self-betterment? What childhood activities bring you joy? And that's all about Litha, right? Like that sun, that baby, that childlike. If I were to pull the sun card from an RWS tarot deck, that's what Litha means to me. Like a very youthful, playful, joyful, like truly in the soul type happiness. What are some of the things that make you comfortable or confident? So explain that here. When we are in our full confidence, that's when we shine the most. So journal about these things on summer solstice, so that way you can look back at them and see how you've changed and grown throughout the years. So we're winding down the days for the month. So the 24th, Friday, we have Litha. We have our midsummer celebration. So a midsummer or Litha is we revel again in the long days, and we will absolutely be refreshed and renewed. If you aren't feeling the like just amazingness and like all the pollination and the bees and the fruits like getting ripened and just wanting to be outside and barbecues, these are all the things that are going to just bring you just genuine joy. So around this time, you really should be refreshed. Drink a lot of water. You know, do some of the activities. We'll go through that later. You know, make a water or cleanse your water with solar energy instead of always kind of doing moon water. You can do sun water, drop a tiger's eye, make some lemonade. Like these are all just amazing summertime activities that you can do. So with the summer solstice is a time again for illumination, where we have the opportunity to better see the unseen. The Celtics held bonfires on high hilltops to celebrate the distance between the earth and the sun. So since it's at its highest point, they would gather around the fires and sing and dance, and the Celts also used to recognize goddess Anya. And we will talk about goddess Anya in a moment. And this is the goddess of love, summer, sovereignty, and fertility. And one thing I forgot to mention with the summer solstice is that summer solstice, or you know, if you are celebrating Litha around that time, is a really, really good time to do ancestral work, and we'll talk about that when we get to spell work. But because you know, we have that break between having the sun in the sky at its highest point and having that kind of duality between the longest night and the longest day and the shortest night. It's really, I get a feeling that there is a thinning of the veil. So again, and we spoke about this a couple times in my older videos, like the thinning of the veil doesn't just have to happen in Samhain. It doesn't have to be a specific time. It could be a feeling that you have that can thin the veil. It could be a location of that the veils are thinning. It can be a time in the year. So it could be numerous things where you will feel the thinning of the veil. And during the summer solstice, especially because you have like that kind of, not balance as like equality where you will find in an equinox, but more like it's sharing in opposition, which is a perfect time to do some ancestral work, some shadow work, and things like that. And around the 24th, you can work with the older maiden archetype of the goddess. So around this time, I still consider, and a lot of people have mixed feelings about this. This is just my personal kind of belief. And of course, you can do your research and your feelings are valid. But for this time of the year, I love the maiden archetype of the goddess. Like they're very rambunctious, very in love, very like the fertility's in the air, ready to kind of mate like they would in Beltane. We're still getting that. So the maiden is now coming into like a motherly aspect. Then around like Samhain, she begins to have like the elder crone type energy. And then for Yule, of course, she is full-blown mother, where she releases the baby sun, and the sun again is coming into light all the way to where we are now, the day star. So that's what the story is called, the day star. I also have a lot of products in my shop. I'll leave that below, where you can get Litha oils, candles, things like that. So if you're interested in purchasing anything from my apothecary shop, I'll leave some products below that are all about the day star. Then on the 28th, I have another lunar fair. It's the new moon in Cancer. So I think we are celebrating Pride for Lunar Fair all month long. So you'll see me, follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting some products, some candles and things like that, some oils that represent or that are beneficial to talk about goddesses. So for June's goddess, I am working with the goddess Anya, which is the Irish goddess of summer, wealth, and sovereignty. And her story is just, it's just like wild, like even dare I say it, just straight savage. Like, I just love it. So she is associated with midsummer and the sun, and is sometimes represented by a red mare. She would appear with a red mare, and it's like meant to be the fastest horse. Like, there was no faster horse. Like, bright red hair. She also had bright red hair and a yellow cloak, like just that fiery type of energy. Townspeople will carry torches, and they still do at Knockmany Hill, to honor Anya, and cattle are driven in between bonfires, similar to May Day. Litha is also a fire sabbath, and Anya was wild, passionate, and full of childlike behavior. So the lore goes that a new king came to rule over Cashel, but did not care for his land. So the land became dark, and not even Anya could brighten the land. On Samhain, when the veil was the thinnest, they tortured the fields, the fae folk, and everything was ash. And Anya was heartbroken. So the king would keep burning these fires, burning each Samhain Eve. But Anya knew that the people were hurting. So then at that point, Anya, wearing her yellow cloak and her hair like ablaze, she would join with her father, and they would strike back. They went to battle, and they lost a lot of people, and the fae folk were like lost, and it looked like she was basically losing. So the king had gotten to her, and then when he laid eyes on her, he really saw how beautiful she was. But one thing that I read, that she had almost like fangs. So it was like she was beautiful, but when she smiled, she had like sharp teeth. So when the king was winning, he kind of like pushed himself onto Anya, and these tales are really, really dark. So it's about rape and things like that. So while he was trying to push himself onto her, she bit him. She bit him in the ear, and basically just kind of gnawed it off his face. And at that moment, the king knew, and the rest of the townspeople knew, that he was flawed. And because of the things that he has done to Anya, they knew what he had done because of the ear. So it's almost like a scarlet letter in its own right. So after that day, the king was dethroned, and they were able to kind of bring restoration to the land, and they still now kind of go up into Knockmany Hill and give thanks and respect to Anya for being so brave. But like, I just love her vibe. I love how she like gnarled. Like, even though Anya was very passionate and wild and beautiful, she had that like savageness in her. Like, she would literally show her teeth and gnarl at you, which is fantastic. And, you know, she's like that fearless type of feminine power that like I'm just absolutely here for. And then for crystals, we can work with citrine, which is manifesting dreams, joy. It's the happy stone. So it's all about abundance in the form of having items that make you happy. So not like abundance in like the way that we think, like having prosperity, success, wealth, like abundance into the things that like you can look around you and these things serve happiness to you and your family. We have carnelian, which one of my favorite stones, is all about confidence, motivation, creativity. It's also another sunstone. And carnelian is all about trusting your goals, which we discussed earlier in the video about trusting yourself in the first half and making sure that you don't give in to your ego. So definitely hold carnelian and tiger's eye, which is the last stone that I suggest that you work with this month, which is all about transformation, resilience, balance, and understanding difficult situations. And that's more of like the Anya. That's more of like the transformation where she was Fae-like, you know, had joy, but when she needed to protect her lands and to protect herself, like she became like just ravenous. That's that tiger's eye energy where it's all about transformation and understanding and getting through difficult situations, however that may be. Okay, so the last items that we have to review are spell work. So the spell work, you want to do spells for healing, for self-growth, for protection, and things like that. So I will be before the end of the month, I will be doing a Spellcraft Sunday to show you how I create my own black cat oil. And I also created a pink cat oil. So one is for protection between like, you know, like illness or wrongdoing or hexes and things like that, whereas pink cat oil is really good for attraction, love, and companionship. So not like attraction where you want to attract success and things like that. It's more for like companionship if you are looking for a relationship, if you are looking to, you know, meet someone. So it's more on the love end of attraction. And whereas black cat oil, if you are not familiar with that, it's a very strong, potent protection oil that you can use for your spell work, sacred space, or yourself to promote protection against a lot of ill will. And then you can also learn about lemongrass and burn lemongrass for cleansing. So lemongrass is a great herb to use during spell work, meditation, and things like that for the month of June. In some activities, you can work with the Fae. So I love working with the Fae in Litha and Beltane. And you can prepare a fairy offering. Honey is very, very like sought after, vital this time of year for Litha and also Beltane. You can start a bonfire for purification and cleansing. You can do a strawberry recipe, and I will show you that for this month too. So that's a video coming up this month on going to the strawberry fields. We'll take you, I'll vlog there. We'll spend time with my family. And then we'll come back, talk about the strawberry, and do some strawberry recipes. Maybe I'll have that around the full moon if I'm not like just crazy with lunar fair. I mentioned before, you can charge your water with solar energy. I always take a bottle, plop some tiger's eye in there, and let it sunbathe for like no more than an hour. If you're going to have an indirect sun, then tiger's eye is good to kind of leave on your windowsill for more hours. But if it's direct sun, you should never put a crystal in water and have direct heat on it for more than an hour. But I think like 30 minutes of sun cleansing your water with tiger's eye is perfect. And then work in your grimoire. You can create a Litha tarot spread. You can answer some of the questions that I asked during this video. Definitely get into your grimoire and do some creative working, artwork, and things like that. Like that's the total vibe that I'm feeling for this Litha season. And that's about it. So, I'll leave some of the references down below. I've used a lot of references and things like that for making monthly magic. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. A little bit of a longer video. Please feel free to take notes, come back to it, pause. You don't have to sit here in one sitting. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. And until next time, bye.